really is. But you know what's even better than Doombringer Duel? It's Doombringer 2v2, Jaha.
That's a good
Doombringer
answer. I like that answer. I was going to say something else, probably more Craigslisty, but 2v2 is a good answer.
It certainly is. And to start us off with our 2v2, it is going to be none other than ZorakWar with CixxyWuffie up against the mighty duo that is Andeh and Prod1G. And we're going to be playing the two best 2v2 maps, in my opinion, both very different flavors. One of them being Duel 1, which is a funny name for a TDM map, and the other, well, I'll let you find that out in due time. Let's get into it. Our second show match of the day.
And it's worth noting that Prod1G and CixxyWuffie went head-to-head in Doombringer during the last organ grinder, so there's a little bit of history in here now, as in the history that we specifically put together. But yeah, no, Aerowalk, fantastic for TDM, especially 2v2. We've got the quad right where it should be, so Quake World players will feel right at home.
They certainly will, and it is an experience to play Aerowalk and 2v2 in Doombringer. It is chaotic, it is silly, you're going to kill your friends just as much as you're going to kill your enemies. It is an entire thing. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a belter. I'm now finally ready to go. And I think that means we're ready to go.
Oh, Brotherhood of Ruin, I get it now. Okay.
The Brotherhood of Ruin. Up against the Order of Seleucid.
Yeah. It's got that live journal spelling. Here we go.
Here we go. Good luck casting this, Jaha. I've tried it before. It's not possible.
It's 2v2. It's Aerowalk. So basically what that means is that while the quad is up, we pay attention to that, and when it's not up, we talk about local news.
I mean, you might. I just say the word bang.
We each have our own coping mechanisms, but Prod1G's got the quad, but is having a lot of trouble getting anything done with it. People keep disappearing out of his sight. He gets getting pittances of damage, and he's down to 57 health himself. He got CixxyWuffie down once, looking for Zorak, but just finding more Cixxy. That means that Zorak has survived this entire ordeal with SSG and a fair amount of stacks. So now Zorak, alone in the red armor room, is trying to hold on to it with this 6 HP, but there's the Mega for him.
Can we talk about how good this spec cut is? Can we please
it's amazing.
talk about how
it's
good
amazing. You can see what's happening and who has what.
And the Steam
and it doesn't take up tons of space. And it's got the Steam avatars, yeah.
And there's a little Doombringer icon that goes over them when they're dead. Oh my god.
The polish is insane, yeah.
I mean, I know that we had FaZe involved, but I didn't know we were getting this polish.
I mean, you loved what he did for the trailer editing, so how can we go wrong?
How can we go wrong? As I am following ZorakWar. Now, this guy, he probably doesn't really need an introduction. One of the greatest duelists to ever come out of North America in Quake Live. Incredibly intelligent player, was the king of North American Diabotical back when that was a thing. Just
that was a fun week.
Monster. Yeah, it was a great week. But ZorakWar has come to Doombringer, and it's weird. I don't know why, but he plays it every night and is like really serious about it. And I wasn't expecting that at all.
Joel, because it's fun.
Exactly. It's the wildest thing. People just playing video games because they're good.
Imagine that.
But yeah, he plays a lot, and he's also just ridiculous. I have never, in all of my years of playing many competitive games, ever felt quite as lost as I have versus ZorakWar and Doombringer.
Oh. Maybe, yeah. So I keep bringing this up every time Zorak is in the room, which I feel bad about, but he did traumatize me because we did have a tournament in QuakeCon one year where it was a map point system, which meant depending on how many maps you won, regardless of who it was against, could impact your placement in the playoffs. And Zorak was on paper in a position to take Rafa out of the finals. And then he fucked up a rocket jump on Lost World and died. So, and I'll never be able to forget that moment. That was one of the hardest moments I've ever had to witness in Quake esports.
Well, welcome to Doombringer esports, Jahan, where the stakes are that much higher
Oh.
and the frags are that much cooler.
They are, and honestly, the damage is looking a little bit funnier than I thought we would anticipate. So Prod1G and Andeh are at about 1.95 average between them. ZorakWar and CixxyWuffie not quite up there, but that being said, the Brotherhood, Prod1G and Andeh are still lagging behind 7 frags.
Yeah.
I can count.
So Prod1G has been pretty good at getting the quad, but ZorakWar, and he's going to do ZorakWar things like do 2k damage on 150 ping and just roll you anyway. Because that's what he's about. Okay, Prod1G now on the Doomsphere comes out with the shotgun, and on top of the quad damage, I mean, it's a good enough gun as is, right? But yeah, multiply it by 4, why not?
However, he only has the 1 health, so he's going to need some 25s here. Even going through the teleporter is going to be dangerous, and there's the rocket from Zorak to shut that quad down. So the lead from Zorak and CixxyWuffie will continue for a little bit here. It's a big mix-up in the red armor room. Zorak has taken 1 frag off. Prod1G is still trying to find his way back in, but CixxyWuffie picking up a frag. Frags right now, ZorakWar is 18-7, CixxyWuffie 11-15, Prod1G 17-9, and Andeh is 3-22. You told me that he was a monster at this game.
He is against me. That used to mean something. I don't know what happened. It genuinely upsets me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get good again, and then I play and I'm like, I'm so bad. I don't know what to do about it.
See, your problem is you play other Europeans. If you play American players like me, you know that ego does go up a little bit.
The only American I play is fucking ZorakWar. What am I doing?
Yeah, that's
I play him on NA servers as well. It's just, what am I doing? Really? Meanwhile, ZorakWar going from strength to strength, 100 HP, a red armor in his pocket, rail, quad, beautiful stuff. He's got a shotgun as well. The world truly is his oyster, and we just live in it.
Good runs from him all the way around. Still only 7 frags between them as we eclipse the first third of this map. So there's still time. But Zorak is going on a great run with the quad. It's not over just yet. Oof.
Still time.
So finally he's shut down, but at that point it's going to be a nice 11 frag difference. So things in that single quad run got a lot worse for Prod1G and Andeh. And the good news is if Andeh wakes up like a little bit, he's going to be in a much better spot. Because again, damage-wise, they're not too different from each other. But like you said, GMT, the quads are a huge difference. The item stacks are a huge difference. And, I mean, Airwalk is kind of chaos anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's chaotic enough in 1v1. It's chaotic enough in Quake Live 1v1. Never mind Doombringer 2v2. I mean, this has got to be just about the fastest any arena FPS game has played. Because, okay, in a game like Warfork, or in a game like CPM, the max speeds are higher, but the acceleration is so wild.
Right.
And so people just move super quick and they die about as quickly as they do in Quake World. It truly is the fastest sport on the web.
It's a wonderful thing. That quad run from Prod1G didn't move the bar that much. It's only 8 frags between them now. Currently on board with Andeh, but yeah, it's kind of pointless to call that out because everybody's dying so very quickly. It's another 35 seconds before the next quad comes back up. And here it's basically, you know, grab what you can, hold on to whatever you have, and hope you don't get blasted before the next power-up comes up. Here comes the next red. It's going to be a bit of a fight over it.
CixxyWuffie wants it, misses the jump, turns around with the rockets as Andeh tries to make some inroads, and he will. Prod1G helps out as well. That's going to be their red. Meanwhile, though, the Mega taken by CixxyWuffie, I do believe, who's now in a bit of an awkward fight. You can see Andeh getting serious value out of his hit scan there. Oh, fantastic.
All right. Not bad coming out of Andeh. And again, it won't take a whole lot to help out here. We just had a third player join. There we go. He's out.
Good stuff. Doombringer indeed.
Yeah.
That's
42 to 43 though. Andeh has woken up just a little bit, and it's enough to push things over. So now they've actually taken the lead here. We've got another quad run coming up here. It'll be a while. But in the meantime, who's going to have any kind of armor stack? Andeh only has 10 HP, so he's not the best candidate for it right now. But he's doing a lot of LG damage here. If Prod1G shows up on this red, it could be useful. But no, he's just trying to deny it from Zorak, and succeeds in doing so. There we go, 9 HP, red armor. What are you going to do with it, Andeh? Still 27 seconds before Quad comes back up, but he is on the hunt now for some Zorak. He even sees CixxyWuffie and was like, not worth it. Zorak needs to die. Yeah, Zorak has all the armor here, and there it goes. Armor deleted from the red team.
There it goes, 49 to 46 now. It's still close, and this is, I believe, or at least I hope it's set to 15-minute max.
Yeah.
You know, this is still going to be ongoing for some time and could well swing the other way all over again. Also, have we mentioned Quad's a 75-second timer?
Yeah, that's what keeps throwing me off, honestly. I'm like, oh, what time is it? But now CixxyWuffie had that quad. Very briefly, it died, which is interesting right now because the score is so close. It doesn't allow Prod1G and Andeh to get a much larger lead, but it doesn't allow Zorak to kind of go on a tirade of his own. As you can see, he's got a fair amount of mega, plenty of armor, so he's in a really good spot stack-wise at the moment, but it's getting whittled away, and there's no power-up to really take advantage of it with.
No, not at all. Talk a little bit about the rationale behind the whole 75-second quad thing. At one point, it was a minute, and it just felt like there was a little too much quad in the game, which I know, Jahar, you're going to squawk at probably. But the game was a lot of quad.
Yeah.
And also, we got tired of timing it perfectly because it was just a simple add a minute. So we added another 15 seconds, and I think it's actually, you know, it's not a massively noticeable change, but it's nice. It just makes it that little bit tricky.
Well, it's fine. It means that it does matter, like, who got that last red, who got that last mega.
Yeah.
You might want to try to play a little bit defensively, even though this is Airwalk, and that's difficult to do. So, no, I'm completely behind that. As you can see, like, you do see a little bit of trying to defend the resources that are currently held by a team. Or at least in theory. Not always the case with Andeh. But, yeah, you do want to see that before the quad comes up so you can make good use of it, especially on a map like Airwalk, where you've basically got 2 exits from the quad room, and they can both be spammed.
Yeah, absolutely. As Andeh and Prod1G continue to hold this 6-ish frag lead. It feels like it hasn't been moving, just slowly closing it up. Zorak did have a red there, but no health to work with. And now we're looking at a 5-frag game. And they're just going blow for blow right now.
Alright, so 68-62. Quad is coming up in 15 seconds. ZorakWar is here very early. Without a whole lot of armor either. Like, the only really stacked person at the moment is actually CixxyWuffie with that mega. CixxyWuffie want to be the one responsible for the quad right now. Here it comes. ZorakWar is going to be positioned. Oh, but it gets stolen away. Prod1G. This very well just could be Quake World right now. That is such a classic play. The drop-in, shut down, walk out with the quad, and now Prod1G is aiming to extend this lead.
ZorakWar a little bit too early for this. Red hasn't been timing, I don't think. Oh, Prod1G with the double quad shotgun. He is going ham right now. He's on the mega. He could get in position for the red, or he could hunt down these frags. Any choice is a good one.
The shotgun always feels like you have a quad all the time anyway, so it's a wonderful thing. 78-65. What a lead, and a comeback will necessitate Zorak being able to avoid a few more fights just to keep plucking things off with LG and Rail. Haven't seen a whole lot of that. It's been a really scrappy matchup here so far. Taking a look here at damage, Prod1G's having a great day. 8k damage from him, 1k less for Zorak, and 55-33 for him. He is just absolutely doing phenomenal.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And you know, that's good to see, because I've been playing against Andeh and I thought this guy's scary, and has been playing against Zorak and I'm fucking terrified of him. But it's Prod1G that's coming out on top. He's been so on top of the quad, and yeah, used it very effectively too. Of course, as we singing his praises. He does die very unceremoniously, but
I mean, you're
that
gonna
is
die
what it
on
is.
Aerowalk. Yeah, absolutely. And it was CixxyWuffie who called Prod1G a noob during the last organ grinder, and that was a mistake. It must be said. Should not have done that.
The guy is not a noob.
No.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that live on air.
Prod1G creamed Cixxy. Every single map.
And if you want to hear more about the last organ grinder as well as future organ grinders, do make sure to tune into Organ Harvester tomorrow.
I was like, hey,
10
yeah, I
PM
feel weird
CST.
promoting it on this channel, but I'm like, wait a minute, this is my channel. But it's all Doombringer. Actually, I will spoil this. We do have 2 Doombringer matches for next week's show, so it's going to be good shit.
Absolutely.
At least one of them will be good.
Excuse me?
The funny thing is I was actually referring to your match.
Okay. That's all right.
89 to 76 in this final minute, and here's the last Doom Sphere. It's going to be CixxyWuffie, but how long will CixxyWuffie be able to hold on to it? Not a whole lot of stack here. Looking for that red, but just gets shut down by these rockets. The staircase is a bad place to be.
It certainly is. And I do think that a 10 frag difference on Aerowalk is a very good sign, actually, for our next map. It will be Duel 1, which for me and for a lot of other people is, Jesus Christ, is the seminal Doombringer map. That's the way I think of it anyway. It's the one that I think works best in Duel. I think it's great for 2v2 as well. It's some of Chris's finest work, and it's going to be a very different pace. It's going to be a very different style of game to this Aerowalk. So, once again, Doombringer, it's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah. What it doesn't have is nerfed weapons that don't work. The weapons work. They all work beautifully. And 94 to 83, a great comeback for Prod1G and Andeh. And ZorakWar and CixxyWuffie have got to pull themselves up for the next map. Again, like damage ratios, not too far out of whack.
No, not at all. And I think Zorak's going to do better with a little bit more space. You know, I would argue maybe there's some sort of like a skill compression on Aerowalk because it's going to be so hard to miss. Because just shoot. There'll be people there. Don't worry.
Just shoot.
Whereas when we go to Duel 1, as we are now, much more open map, much more opportunity here to really control areas in a proactive way. You're going to see people try and protect this quad a lot more. You're going to see people protect the Mega a lot more, the red as well. You know, with the way that the tiered armor system works in TDM, you're going to have to you're going to have to sort of ration it out between the team, and sometimes, you know, a guy gets a red, goes and defends a yellow. It's a little bit more advanced in that sense.
Yeah, and especially here, you have more opportunity for one player to kind of stack up and be ready for the next quad. I'm going to be paying attention to who's controlling rails. A lot more opportunity to also just kind of lock down several entire rooms with just that rail. Of course, weapons need ammo, and ammo's kind of a finer resource here. So not only are people not going to be dying as much, they won't be able to just rely on just the pure weapon pickup for ammo anymore. Here we go.
Here we are then. The final map of today's show match. It is going to be the Brotherhood of Ruin, as always, against the Order of Selosi. The immovable force meets the unstoppable... the unmovable object? The unstoppable force. The immovable object. There we go. Both of them. They're playing.
Give this man a raise.
Give this man a wage.
All right, but oh, that first quad is going to get shut down. I mean, first quad means basically whatever weapons you have on the way to it, and same thing goes for armor. But early lead here for the Brotherhood and Prod1G. And they've got the stack here. CixxyWuffie and Zorak, not so much. Prod1G's rail able to shut things down and keep the streak going. Oh,
yeah, so far,
Zorak, yeah. This is playing around that Mega. And for those of you who haven't played Duel 1 yet, yes, there's a teleporter that makes you look straight down at the ground while you're falling at it. It's great.
Doombringer is a fun game. Oh, Andy, you poor boy. Absolutely destroyed by ZorakWar there. Who will be navigating this little timing issue that's coming up. He is, of course, the time master, as Mega and Quad will clash. How are he and CixxyWuffie going to navigate this? Well, it's going to be the YA for Zorak first, and now dropping down, trying to secure this Quad. Much more important than the Mega, he thinks, and does a good job of fighting his way through. CixxyWuffie in the end also contributes, and he's immediately on this red. This is fantastic stuff from ZorakWar, and this could be, you know, one of those real moments we're going to talk about at the end of this map, because he just won what was a 1v2 to secure the quad, to secure the red, and then he got, what, 5-6 frags on top. That's what wins you TDM games in Doombringer.
And he's just really seeing this as duel with twice as many people to shoot. It's great. But more important than the quad run itself in a map like this is going to be the setup that it gives him. And that right now includes just about every weapon, plenty of ammo, and the red armor. So he's ready to face off against any new spawns, but where's this LG coming from? Andeh, well, I guess everything they say about his shaft is true after all. That's going to shut down Zorak here, and we're going to have to see who can stack up next.
Yeah, it looks like it could well be Andy who's doing the business, but ooh, Zorak with a ridiculous direct. As Andy left kind of in the lurch for a little bit there, well, goes through the telly to his death. 16 leads 14, and whoever came up with these teams is an absolute genius.
Actually, yeah, I can completely agree. We've got a Quake 3 legend, Quake Live legend. We've got a Quake World fanatic, strange person who lives in a cabin, and we've got Prod1G and CixxyWuffie who already have recorded bad blood between them. So yeah, A+.
And for once, I'm not making an allusion to myself. It was Reki that did this.
Plenty of time for that tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. What's happening tomorrow? That's right. The GMT show featuring GMT.
19-21, about as close as you can expect to get here. Which I think falls in line with some of the things you were predicting about Duel 1. A little bit more space, a little bit more time between frags, and a little bit more time to set things up, which could mean more swings, but also more comeback possibility. And right now, they're only one frag apart. Currently watching Prod1G dive in for this red and get absolutely shut down by the Gatling gun. Do not sleep on the Gatling gun. For one thing, it'll be uncomfortable. For another, it is absolutely a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, just to point out, it does 25 damage a shot, and quad damage in Doombringer is actually quad damage. Yeah. That's a direct rocket launcher machine gun. That's what that is. It does 100 damage.
It's wonderful. Yeah, that even beats out Quake Champions, because to its credit, Quake Champions also does 4 times damage on quad, which means that nail guns are 80 damage apiece. But yeah, 100 damage per bullet, absolutely insane. And
Zorak apparently doesn't even need them. Going to be using the rockets instead, shotgun as well, as he is really taken over. I said you give him a little bit more space on Duel 1 for his big old wrinkly brain to come into play, and yeah, he's doing a great job of controlling just about everything. Even having to walk past YAs, that's how good he's been on the stack management. And what great proactive play. RJ there to prevent the LG pickup and get a frag himself. Now up against 2, though, has to back in. CixxyWuffie is here to help, but can't do much to deter Prod1G, who will get him, but, well, I think the console said it best there. He slipped into a fiery inferno.
And yeah, every frag type also has its own unique metal art, which is just, you know, the polish in this game is unreal. At the moment, 24-36, things were looking good as of that last Doomsphere run, and we're about to have ourselves another. ZorakWar is going to be on it, but he paid a hefty price for it, and he's not going to survive yet. He only had 20 health diving into the red armor pit, so that is going to be a dead quad. To say, like, CixxyWuffie's not doing a lot of damage when he has the quad up, but he's also surviving with it a little bit longer, so that's keeping the score relatively tight.
I mean, half of the benefit of having the quad is them not having it, so
yeah,
even a dead quad's a good quad.
Belongs on a t-shirt, but ZorakWar is feeling a little bit more breathing room. Red armor's about to be back up. In fact, it is up. In fact, it's being left up. There it is, finally getting picked up. Prod1G's going to get away with it, and Prod1G versus Zorak is always a fight we're seeing. I would like to see them duel. But that time, Prod1G had no idea Zorak was standing behind him with the shaft.
Well, there are many things I want to say about that. I'm going to avoid all of them.
Yeah, that. You're taking the high ground. It's taken all these years, but we are learning. We are learning.
You get to do the joke in your own head. You don't need me to say it.
That's how I am with lovemaking too. 29 to 41.
It's just like Reservoir Dogs. Whatever you imagine is going to be 10 times worse than reality.
CixxyWuffie with the quad, 9 HP. Please don't miss the jump for this. There's a 50 down there. Yeah, go get that 50.
Oh god,
Sorry,
nice getting bounced just about everywhere, and now going in with the rail. Prod1G did a good job there of wasting Zorak's time, but that was about all he did. Now 29 to 46 on Duel 1, a serious lead now for the Order of Solosi, who, bear in mind, did lose on Airwalk by about 10 frags in the end.
And we're only doing the 2 maps, yeah?
Yeah, which is, in hindsight, terrible. I'm an idiot,
means it's to be continued for Organ Grinder TDM edition.
There we go. I'll allow it. You will also allow it, as far as I'm aware, so...
Yeah, we make it up as we go along.
Yep.
Which means we're flexible. Both in terms of production and morals.
You're not wrong. Ethical contortionist, Jahar. That's his title.
Prod1G on the Doomsphere. What? Who let him have it? This is dangerous because he actually frags when he has the Doomsphere. Zorak just dies because he's a target. CixxyWuffie is too afraid to jump at a Mega. But Prod1G actually gets work done, but now he's going to die there, and that's not quite going to be the comeback run that they need.
Not quite. They're going to need a whole lot more. We are just over the halfway mark, and Prod1G having a pretty ill-fated fight with ZorakWar, but Cixxy offers himself off to the gods, and, well, what is that? Prod1G with this shotgun is having a time of it.
Which is a little harder to secure in this map, but you can get things done. Was that a rocket straight up? What? Oh, God. Yeah. Whew.
Welcome to Doombringer.
By the way, there's this awesome feature in Doombringer where you can play back demos, and that's not even the awesome part, but I guess these days it is pretty awesome. You can play back demos, and you can have it slow down whenever there's a frag to be really nice, dramatic timescale adjustment, and then have it speed back up after the frag. It's good shit. Kudos to whoever implemented that, and double kudos to whoever suggested that it be a feature.
Dude, that is absolutely the way I like credit to be given. All of the credit to the ideas men, nothing to the executioners or the executors. I don't know. It's
pretty cool. It's the kind of things that, yeah, you can do that in a video editor, but having it happen in game is pretty fun just for casual watching. It's good for like scrubbing through really quickly. Like you can set the timescale up to 10 and then have it slow down for each frag. But it makes, you know, for a lot of fun in frag videos, which can happen in this game because, I'll say it again, there's demo playback.
There really is. There's many things in this game. It's actually also got one of the most comprehensive settings menus. I mean, we all know how annoying it is to make a config in an arena FPS game because we're all ridiculous prima donnas. And Doombringer, okay, yeah, you're still going to want to customize it a lot, but you can do 90% of it in the menu. You never have to touch that console.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what things I've actually had to do in the console, and it's relatively little.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you compare it to, like, other Dark Place games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Q2 Fusion games, but we don't know any of those.
Oh.
Certainly, we've never been the announcer in any of those.
Oh, shut up. Did you know that, I mean, they subsequently changed it, but the Cocaine Diesel guys actually ripped the announcer file straight out of Warsaw.
No, you can't do that.
So someone's like, hey, look at Cocaine Diesel, and then there's my voice, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But even they had the forethought to replace me, so good for them.
I was going to say, it's just as well they're developing that game in the Bermuda Islands, because otherwise legally you'd have some recourse. But they are on a tax haven and a copyright haven. It's
I apologize for anybody in advance who's in the chat going, "What's cocaine diesel?" I'm going to Google that. I'm sorry.
It's a good name, though. It's a great name.
41-70, the final few minutes, and we have not seen the swing back, the comeback from Prod1G and Andeh that we saw in Aerowalk. I mean, to his credit, Andeh knew what Aerowalk is, and he might not be as familiar with Duel 1. Like you said, though, it is kind of the iconic Doombringer map that is, you know, actually a Doombringer map. But it does take a bit of time to learn.
It does, yeah. It's a little bit of a weird one. And I think it's like Doombringer itself, actually, in a lot of ways. Like, it really emphasizes the ammo management. It's weird and quirky, and it's not going to be to everyone's taste in the sense that you've got this teleporter that just shoots you out of the sky. You've got to do a single strafe jump really well to get to the mega. Everything about it is just, you know, this is Doombringer. This is what Doombringer is about, and this is how Doombringer is meant to be played. And such a good job, and it's been a map we've been playing for years now, and it's still good.
It's very poetic of you. This map in itself is a microcosm of the game itself. That's nice. This map is fractally reflective for the entire game. Yeah.
What he said.
I like that. I don't think Prod1G and Andeh are coming back on this one. I just don't see it happening. No, I keep looking at the stacks, and Zorak and CixxyWuffie just always have armor.
It's like you just told me that Father Christmas isn't real.
Yeah. And I can do that because there's a HUD that tells me these things. Good lord.
Other game developers should be embarrassed.
Honestly, yeah. There's a level of it where, yeah, it's kind of ironic. Hey, look, this, what did you call it before? This triple I game is very triple I, but at the same time, it just works.
Yeah.
And it has cool stuff. And these days, having cool stuff is basically all I'm asking for. That and a good shotgun. So, Doombringer's 2 for 2.
10 out of 10. Get it on the, what's that website called where we all review the thing? Metacritic. There we go. Get on that.
Yeah.
Give Doombringer a big thumbs up, or 5 tomatoes, or a fucking baked potato. I don't care.
You know, Scarecrow, it does make complete sense, but I have to admit that until today I had never heard the term. I guess I don't run in those circles where I get to play triple I.
Oh, I've never heard that either. I thought that was me.
Well, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. Like, it definitely fits a lock, but no, I'd never heard it used.
Oh.
I only play single I things. Until today.
All right, the last 35 seconds, the last quadrant as well, it is in the hands of Andeh. Even he, with his prodigious mechanical abilities and quad running expertise, will not be able to make this happen, but he might make for some pretty frags that we'll enjoy watching. And oh, a frag with the Fists of Fury. Fantastic stuff. As it is 56-91, and this show match is going in the books as one that finished as a 1-1 and was never resolved.
And Zorak has 55 of those frags under his own belt, so just goes to show how scary Zorak is. You wouldn't be scared looking at him, but anytime you see him play, it's a different story. 59-91, like you said. Fantastic stuff.